All right, just appreciate you guys joining us today. First day, or I guess the early signing period has begun. Very unique calendar we're on now, a little different than we've had in the past in regards to the way that we approach the signing. And to me, it's very exciting to be able to bring in 16 guys today that signed with us, and from all across the country, both sides of the football. I believe we got 8 on offense, 7 on defense, and 1 specialist. And so just going to go through these guys. Really want to be able to talk about each one of them. I'm really excited about the group when I think about this class and what they bring to us. Just trying to emphasize length, athleticism. Obviously speed's always going to be a variable that we're trying to improve here, but really trying to get bigger, longer guys, and it always is about fit for me. It will never change no matter where they come from. And so this class is full of that, a lot of good balance here, just addressing needs that you always do, and then be able to maximize the current landscape that we're dealing with here with recruiting right now. So starting out with, this is alphabetical order, Austin Barrett, offensive lineman, just so excited about him from St. Charles, Illinois, St. Charles East High School, and big, long athlete that plays offensive tackle. I love that he's a wrestler. Love his toughness. Love his attitude. Can really bend well, and has got a tremendously high ceiling that he's going to be able to attain to when he comes. So excited about getting Austin here and getting him going. And next is Derek Bowler, wide receiver from Miami Palmetto High School, 6'1", 195, right out of high school. Good size, very mature, physically. Runs well, really good ball skills. Just love getting to meet him through this process. And he came up and saw us over the summertime and had a chance to have a visit then came back on his official visit with his mom, Bonnie. So just great young man that fits with us, and so excited about him being here. Tadarius Collins, also out of high school, defensive lineman. Man, so excited about Tadarius. He's got length. He's 6'4". He's a basketball player as well as football. I love multi-sport guys. I've already mentioned that one of them's a wrestler now. Tadarius is a basketball player, and just guys that compete in other sports. And he's an edge guy that you're looking for, and guys that can rush the passer. And he gives us a lot. He can actually play either position, the end or the bowl spot. So really excited about him out of Northwood High School there in Shreveport, Louisiana. And then Andre Carter, the first transfer that we're going to mention here, and coming to us from Western Michigan University, and he's a big man, and really excited about him at 6'4" plus and 265 pounds, and he just graduated. He's not just physically a big man. He's mature, and he's just done so many great things for them there, and the job that those coaches did at that program, especially on defense, was impressive, and their defensive line was impressive, and to get a chance to get him to come here and opportunity to play in the Big Ten. So just love Andre. Got a chance to get to know his mother. Just the relationship that they have is really special, and just excited about bringing him here, and he'll be in here mid-year and have a chance to truly to dive right into this and get a chance to really plug in and earn a spot. He knows that, and that's what this is all about for everybody that we brought in. But just excited about the maturity he brings to us, and the opportunity to be able to elevate his game and play in the Big Ten, and to be able to reach his goals. And so excited to have Andre with us. Amari Farrell. I'll tell you what, Amari is a really talented safety that we brought to us here from Lake City, Florida, there at Columbia High School. Got a chance to watch him play in person in the state semifinals, and just so impressed with his athleticism. He's he's a big guy that can move, and really good tackler. He's got really good feet and can run. And so Amari's been with us, came and visited over the summer, committed to us then, stayed true to us the whole time. And a lot of people tried to come in on him because he's a really talented player, but just really appreciate him staying with us, and excited about his future. And it's going to be very bright. And he's the guy that'll be here mid-year as well and have a chance to come in and compete to play right away. I know it's his goal. Orlando Greenlow, big old athlete. He's listed as a wide receiver, 6'5", 210 pounds, but I put him as an athlete. He's out of California, Lawndale, California, and just can play receiver, can rush the quarterback, could be a tight end. Not totally sure he knows that. We've talked about that, but you find find long athletes that can run. And fits with us, came with his mom over the summer and just fell in love with him and his attitude. And he's one that when the Big Ten kind of moved out west there and included USC and UCLA, that adding them allowed us to really expand a little bit out there. And he was a beneficiary of that, and excited to have Orlando with us as a part of our program now. And then Tyler Jeffries, known as Bubba. And man, what a tough guy. Love him. Love his mindset. Loves to work. Plays mean and nasty. Big guy. Alcoa, Tennessee. All they do is win. He's won like 8 or 9 straight state championships in a row, which is unbelievable. And just love his family. A guy that we really just as a program, fell in love with all of them because they love what we're all about. Love football. He's going to come in here and work and train and embrace everything about this program and make us better. So really excited about having Bubba with us on the offensive line. Also, Jameer Johnson, another transfer that we got from University of Texas as a DB. Lost some DBs to graduation this year and the NFL, and so really important to be able to get some older guys in here, and gives us great length and athleticism to come to us here. And he's another California high school player that come via the transfer situation, and so got a chance to spend time with him, get to know him here, and bring him into the fold. So excited about him. And his parents came with him on his visit, and the mom and dad really fell in love with our culture and our environment he's going to be in, and excited about developing him here and helping us do great things defensively here with him in the secondary. Jamison Kelly, another safety coming to us from Columbia, Mississippi. Went to Jones Community College. Man, I tell you what a physical football player. Love how he can run and tackle. He's got great length, 6'1 plus, close to 6'2", 205, 10 pounds, and just bringing a guy that he's a guy we recruited out of high school, and to be able to continue to stay recruiting him and get to know him, and got a lot of connections down there. So just really love Jamison's attitude. Man, he loves football. Loves to practice, loves to train, loves to work, and brings that physical mindset to everything he does. And I'm really excited about bringing Jamison here and expect him to come in here and compete this spring. He'll be here. Jameer, as well as Jamison, will be here mid-year. Also, Will Larkins. Big offensive lineman. The third one we've already mentioned is out of high school O-line. Big 6'4", 300 pounds. Played very, very good high school football down there in Hollywood, Florida. Chaminade Madonna Prep is where he's been going to school here and playing a lot of football. Won another state championship. Won multiple ones at that great program there with Coach Jones, and just going to come up here and develop. He'll be here mid-year as well, and just a chance to come up here and compete in our program. He's been here a couple different times. Came once as an official visit, then came up here on his own. Just to be able to continue to be around our players and be with our program, and just love his passion for Indiana football and his passion for what we're building here and the culture we've created. So really excited to get Will up here, and he'll be up here in a few weeks, getting ready to get in that weight room and get stronger. Max Longman, another transfer that we added here today that I'm just so excited about. Max, and getting to know his mom when she came on his visit, and just a guy that fits with us. Tough, hard-nosed, coming from University of Massachusetts, and been a starter there for the last several years, and just brings that maturity and that experience and that the grown man strength and ability to come in here and play. And so just really excited about him. And the more time I spent with him, even as of recent as last night, talking to him and continuing to get to know him, and just really knowing how much he's really fits here, and it's been a dream to be able to play in the Big Ten. So Midwest guy from Michigan originally, and just excited about Max and what he's going to bring to our program. Also, Brock Lowry is a quarterback of this class, and coming out of high school, I tell you what a career. Just led his team to a state championship, there in Canfield, Ohio, and just a tough, hard-nosed competitor, and that's how I would best describe Brock. He's going to be mid-year, so he'll be here in a couple weeks. But he's just a winner, and plays the game with a chip on his shoulder, runs the football, throws the football. Really, pretty much ran for 2,000, threw for 2,000, and even in the state championship game, threw a touchdown pass, a couple of those, ran for a few, caught one, just plays defense, plays safety, makes tackles. Matter of fact, that's what really caught my eye. I joked with him about it when we first started recruiting. I loved his defensive film. Just he was coming down and smoking folks, and just loves to hit, and just has that tough mentality to him that he's going to bring, and just really love his family. They came several times, got to come to several games, and been able to get around our guys and just to really respect him for what he's done as a high school player. Now he's going to be here soon and being developed as a college athlete. So excited about bringing Brock to our program. And Tyreek McDaniel, I tell you what, another a junior college transfer that I just really was drawn to. There's just something about his mindset that he brings to us, and he's coming to us from Independence Community College there in Kansas, and from the state of South Carolina, originally out of high school. But Tyreek's going to play safety for us, and he brings the physicality to that position, some more maturity and some experience that we need, losing 3 seniors back there in that rotation that we have. And so just want to be able to get Tyreek in here. He'll be in here in the spring semester here in a few weeks, and get a chance to get him rolling right away. But big, over 6 foot tall and 190 pounds, and really can run, and physical guy. So, but just a tremendous drive, passion to be able to play in the Big Ten Conference and be able to show and prove who he is as a player and as a man. And I'm excited about that. I love just hearing his story and getting to know him, and having his dad here with us, and just being able to connect with them and just kind of see his heart and what he wants to do when he comes here. So just expect him to come here and compete, to get on that field right away and make a difference on our team defensively. Nicholas Radicek is our kicker, an All-American, just one of the best kickers in this country. We have a pretty comprehensive way of going about finding our kickers, and Charles has been a great kicker. We have the same process we went through to find Charles. We did the same process with Nick, and he goes by Nico, but one of the best in America, and he'll be he's an Army All-American, and just has that kind of leg talent, and he's got to come do it, got to prove it here, but that's what he's going to be here to do, is kick for us, and he brings a lot of confidence coming out of Capel High School there in Texas. Really very strong program out of that state with a lot of history, and so has come from a very well prepared and has a really big and extensive soccer background as well, even internationally. So very good athlete, and I like that in our specialist guys that have been multi-sport guys that understand how to compete and do a great job of having that mindset, bringing that to our kicking game and our specialist game. So I'm really excited about having Nico with us. He's going to do a tremendous job here for us. Also, Jordan Shaw really was a tremendous addition to our program out of the state of California. Really had a great opportunity to get to know his family, and his dad played at Michigan, and that kind of gave us that Midwest connection, even though they're all from California originally, and another opportunity because of us going out there to play with our conference expansion is giving us a chance to be able to attract him. He's got length, he runs really well, you watch his film, he's got tremendous ball skills, he's a great receiver in high school, made a ton of plays with the ball in his hand, punt returner. That's why we look for when you look at DBs, you love them to be punt returners. It shows their athleticism with the ball in their hand, and so really excited about bringing him from St. Pius X High School out there in down in California. Just a guy that fits with us. Excited about him being here, and he wasn't afraid to come across country here and be a Hoosier, which is pretty cool. But we have a national brand, and you see that by this group of guys we have here, all the different states represented, and we got alumni across this country, and so I think that's a huge benefit. There's no doubt about it as we continue to build our football program. And then we got Sam West, a tight end that once again another multi-sport guy, was an SEC baseball commit prior to deciding he wanted to make his future in football. Was a high school quarterback, played multiple positions. We're projecting him as a tight end, and he's a big athlete. That's how I view him, and just a guy from Greensburg, Indiana here in our home state, and from a great family. Sister already goes to school here, and just got a chance to be with him. He got to come to many of our games this year, pretty much all of them, and just a chance to connect with him and his family, and allow him to be able to truly get ingrained with our guys from the very beginning, and get connected with our commits that were already joining us after the summer visits. But Sam's going to bring a good athleticism to that tight end position, and he's another mid-year guy. So many guys here, as I mentioned, are going to be with us mid-year, which is very important for their development, but the guys that aren't going to be training at home and competing and finishing out their high school careers in there and be joining us in June. So love this group, but it's just phase 1 of this recruiting cycle, and now ready to move on to phase 2. So questions?
All right, Matt Weaver, then Mason.
Hey, Coach, how you doing?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
I'm okay. Obviously, you mentioned you guys signed Brock Lowry. You got Brendan coming back, and obviously Dexter unknown for a while with the knee injury. What's what's the plan at quarterback going forward? I mean, are you going to try to add somebody, an experienced guy? And I guess if you are, where are you at in that process?
Yeah, so in regards to Dexter, he had surgery and very successful surgery, and he's now in the rehab process. So really, prayers for that, and he's working really hard to get himself back to full health. The goal right now, as you got the numbers there. We have 3 scholarship quarterbacks right now, and the goal is to add an additional one. An older one would be ideal, and so that's the plan. In terms of being able to have the number 4 guys on scholarship in that room, and especially with Dexter's status. So we're just working through that process every single day. It's never ending. It will continue these next several weeks, and the goal is to have a guy in place here for second semester.
Coach, you kind of mentioned there that this is really the first time we've got to speak to you since the end of the season, and you made a big, significant change to your coaching staff by adding Bob Bostad. I'm curious on the selection process and how you went about hiring and deciding that he was the right man for the job.
Yeah, I tell you what, so excited to have Bob join our staff. Coach Bostad is unbelievably highly regarded offensive line coach in this country. Many would say he's the best O-line coach in the country. I would have to tend to agree with that. The short time we've been around each other, just a great ball coach. Been at the highest level, coaching the NFL on the offensive line for several years. Produced many All-Americans at Wisconsin, and a place that's kind of become, an O-line factory for many, many years. So that's he's a big part of all that. So just really, that's what kind of drew me to him. Big Ten guy, Midwest guy from the state of Wisconsin, understands the conference, understands how to recruit, has recruited Indianapolis area for a long time. That's kind of how we met. Was in that recruiting process, crossing paths there, but just from some common, acquaintances that knew each other. And so when we had this position, and obviously we knew, as the change was made during the season, and Coach Carey took over on an interim basis, we knew we were going to have to be able to find someone. So as some things kind of unfolded there, it allowed us to get Coach Bostad here with us pretty efficiently. The goal was to get him here and get to head out to recruit, and we were probably pretty close to getting him right. As soon as that happened, I think it was a couple days that he wasn't able to go out yet and recruit. We had to send out another coach in his place. But so being able to have him, he was available for us, and with the situation there at Wisconsin. So bottom line is, it found I feel like the very, very best person for the job, and so excited about having him here and the job that he's already doing with our guys in regards to recruiting and evaluation. And then I know when I had a chance to tell our recruits that we had hired him, they were so fired up. They know the track record and the history that he's been able to produce everywhere he's been. So really excited to have him, and anxious to be able to get back in the office once we get off the road and start talking some ball with him.
Sam and then Mike.
Good afternoon, Coach. How are you doing?
I'm great, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. You talked about phase 1 being finished. You're moving into phase 2. What does that look like? What positions are you targeting? And is it, transfers, the JUCO level, high school level? What is phase 2 in your mind?
Well, I would say there's, breaking it down. This is kind of new in a lot of ways. A little bit last year, yes, but not to this degree, because the way the calendar was structured. It's really this next phase is really a transfer phase, a focus, because you have a window from January 4th through the 9th where you can bring in players, and it's only for transfers to be able to make visits to your campus. We can't go off campus, but they can come to us. And so that's the real focus here, to be able to fill some key spots, some positions of need, to be able to kind of balance some of those off. And so it'll be kind of across the board, both offensively and defensively. And then after that phase is done, phase 3 to me is back out recruiting again. And I can see us adding some more high school players. And I think with the way that things have kind of evolved, you definitely have, with There's still 2 classes of guys that have COVID years left that are still out there in circulation, and that keeps these spots continue to be able to be, used up in some ways, and it's kind of allowed some high school guys that maybe would have already been signed and been somewhere else still be available, and so definitely aware of that, and so that would be probably phase 3 as well. So and then you just got some guys that maybe won't be done or be out until the end of the semester, and they'll be here in the summertime. So the next focus is be able to get the guys that will be available to come visit in early January to be able to be enrolled by the second semester.
Mike Wilson.
Yeah, hey, Coach, just going back to the offensive line, you've got 3 high school kids there that have been with you now, technically through 3 different offensive line coaches. They stuck with you through that whole time. Can you tell us about that process, kind of getting them to stay with you through all of that?
Yeah, that's a great point, and a unique situation for sure. I think step 1 was great communication. I personally called them all as the things transpired in each development along the way, and had communications with them and their families. That way they knew what was going on, and so it was tough, there's no doubt, but I think the common theme was they were committed and really connected to IU football and our university and the culture that we have here. And as long as I was here and knowing that wouldn't change, they were good to be able to stay and kind of see how things transpired to who would be in that position. So I would continue to communicate with them throughout this process, and they stayed true to us. We stayed true to them, and we're just open and honest with them about it. And I think that was probably the key. And so I respect them a lot for staying with us through that. And now one of them, Will's going to be here in January, and the other 2 are going to be here in June. And so excited to have all 3 of them. I think it's a really good group of guys that will bring some definite talent and depth to that offensive line. And they're obviously young. They're freshmen out of high school, but I can't wait to get each one of them here.
All right, Wilson and Gwen.
Tom, you referenced this earlier, but what is your process for recruiting a kicker? How do you evaluate them, and how did you end up getting connected with Nico?
Well, first of all, it's unique for specialists because you don't sign one every single year. So it's, the kicking services, and Coles is one of those, and Sailor's another one. There's some others as well, but those are probably the top 2, in the country. And so they know who's looking for a scholarship kicker in a given year and who's not. And so once the word gets out that you're looking for a scholarship kicker, then you do a really good job through those services and all of our connections. I got a lot of connections, and Coach Teagarden and Coach McInerney, all those guys do a tremendous job, and all the guys that run those services, we have a good relationship with them, and so they know that we have that, so we bring them, and we have camps, and we have them come, we kick for us, and so we have a systematic way of doing that, bringing them here. We have a whole evaluation process we go through once we get them here. So it's, first of all, it's identifying, who you want to invite. Bring all the best kickers in America to our campus, and I want to see them kick. And we video everything and go through everything and have it all done the way it's supposed to be. And it's pretty lengthy, and then we go through and we just narrow it down from there. And then you kind of say, okay, this is, you kind of rank them, and then you start going through and then you got to try and convince them to come and start recruiting them. So it's a very, very lengthy process that you go through. And then, Nico's the guy that came and kicked for us, and then you kind of go through and you just continue to evaluate. We watched all these different competitions he was involved in, and they have several kickers as well, and try to see how they handle pressure and how they're able to respond to adversity. And when they start to go in these camps, they kick quite a bit for you, and then they got to go to another camp and then kick some more and then kick some more. And so you just try and see who's the most consistent, who can handle the difficulties of that situation, the pressures that puts on them. Because at the end of the day, they got to be able to kick in front of thousands of people when it counts the most. So it's a pretty, I would say, thorough process we go through. Feel really good about it, and we think we got our guy.
All right, Gwen, and then back to Matt.
Hi, Coach. Hope you're doing well.
I'm great. How are you?
Good. My question was pretty much already answered before, but I'm trying to think of, as this group of 16 people, how would you describe, what makes you so excited about these guys? What is the mentality?
Well, that they fit with us, and they're excited about being here, and they got a chip on their shoulder, something to prove kind of guys, guys that you go through and you really try to find who, is that got the talent to play in this conference. But there's so much more to it than just that. It's the guys that are going to come here and do little things the right way. And yeah, there's no doubt they're all going to have to grow and mature as all, guys do when they come out of high school. But, just the ones that want the things that we want for them and care about school and want to do, things the right way are going to be, on time to everything and showing up to workouts with the right mindset and just able to work through tough times and things don't go your way. And I feel like we got a lot of guys that really fit those kind of things. And obviously, you got to get them here and they got to show that we were right in our evaluation of them. But they excite me because I feel like we got, a broad group of guys, different positions that we needed that have a high level of talent, but they also have tremendous work ethic to them and want to come here and want to compete and get better every day. So obviously, it's like every other signing class. There's a lot of optimism. Not anybody, I don't think, ever stands up here and says that they don't like their class, but at the same time, they got to prove that we're right. And they got to prove that we made the right evaluation and that they were the right guys to come here and want to be able to help us continue to build our program.
Mason Mason?
Hey, Coach. Ever since they switched to this early signing day over many years ago, usually the majority of the class is wrapped up at this time. There's sometimes a few spots. This year, you guys still have, by my count, maybe 15. I know it's a moving target, but more than 10 open spots left on the roster. Is that just the norm going forward, or because of with the portal and all the basically free agency that's going on, or is this a one-year blip? I mean, it seems like it might be the norm. I was just curious your thoughts on that. If you're going to have to recruit almost as many guys after the signing day as you did before. Yeah,
there's no question. I think I was one that mentioned that a couple years ago that not knowing this was going to happen, that I felt like that we'd have the majority of our class in place, after the first signing, and but with the new rules with the portal and when it they couldn't go in until that Monday that we were out recruiting, which created a flood of just that was a crazy several days now for everybody trying to evaluate and figure things out. So I don't think that's going to change. So if this structure continues and the calendar stays the way it is, I think you're going to continue to see this progression where you have a good chunk of them signed right away, but not near as many as before, and you're going to have another 10 to 12 or whatever left, in regards to both transfers and even a few high school guys. There definitely will be some more high school, I think, and filling some of these spots. So, I just think there's just the calendar's different. A lot of guys couldn't even make visits, so that's why they now have those days in January, which we never used to have before, where transfers can take visits. When that's going to be last year, I think we had 1 or 2. This year, I can see us having a whole bunch. So that's a whole new area now to expand to. And then the February is going to be way more involved in trying to find guys that maybe they got didn't get seen or evaluated properly the first time, and you have a chance to find those and continue to look for guys that fit your needs. And so, I think you're going to see this being the norm moving forward. Could be wrong, but that would be my guess based on what I see and how I see it playing out. Every year probably be a little different, but numerically. But I think there's definitely going to be more in the second signing than we've seen in the past couple of years.
Mason, and then we'll wrap up with Mike.
Coach, I'm curious, you mentioned earlier how in this recruiting class you really wanted to emphasize length, athleticism, just overall get bigger and stronger guys. And then also going back to the end of last season, you were talking about with a quarterback prospect, you really liked the idea of having a dual threat guy who can both run it with his own legs and then make plays through the air. When you look at the 2023 team that you're building, what's different about it versus the 2022 team in an ideal world?
Well, I think, for me, you just continue to, you got to have depth. To me, I want to have more depth on the offensive line. I want to have more depth on the defensive line, and be able to withstand. We've had injuries these last couple of years, unfortunately, and some key guys, and it's hurt us, and so to be able to have that, that's a huge part. But I think, we have tried to emphasize the length piece, and that to me, I want a big physical football team, that's able to to play the style we know we got to play, and then also be able to play with tremendous speed. So that's that the speed part never goes away. I want to be able to have that ability to run the football on defense and make plays and recruit that speed on offense and continue to do a great job being dynamic. We just got to be more dynamic on offense. We know that. We got to create more explosive plays. You don't have to drive the length of the field with so many different snaps involved, but and then eliminate those big plays on defense. So to me, that's what I want to be able to do is we got to get better on both sides of football. We got to be better on special teams. All those special teams did a lot of good things in 2022. And so being more consistent in some of those areas, that matter most. But to me, just the fundamentals of being able to run the football effectively is a huge focus. Being able to throw the football effectively and to not put so much pressure on our guys that we have to be perfect on a drive. We can create those more explosive plays, and I want to be able to do that with that style of quarterback and to help us and help our football team, and it helps our defense and both sides where we play better, more complementary football. I don't think we did a good job of that this past season at all, and it hurt us, and we got to do that. I think the last couple of years it hasn't been what it needs to be. There's no question about the result, but I'm talking about the complementing of one another on offense and defense, and so we want to do a better job of that, and to me that's just being better fundamentally and getting guys that are big and physical guys that can help us block better and tackle better.
All right, last one.
Yeah, Coach, I'm curious with Jameer Johnson, is that a guy you tried to recruit out of high school, or how did that relationship come about? And what's the fit there? I mean, I know you like to put your corners in spots where they have to be able to cover, on an island one-on-one. Is he a good fit for that? And, did he see how successful Taiwan Mullen was here, and what did that influence how he viewed the opportunity?
Yeah, he was a national recruit out of high school, so we actually did not to get in on him. He was recruited at a very, very high level, and we did not get a chance. We didn't have a connection to get on that. But, yeah, there's no question what Taiwan has done here. Even Jalen, those two guys are all Big Ten, All-American type guys, and played at a high level for us. And I loved his length, his ability to play vision coverage as well as some man is important, but we were trying to get bigger at that position and get some more length there, and he brings that. He's had experience in the Big 12, and that was big for us as well. And so, just trying to comb the country to find a guy that gives us the combination of length and speed and the flexibility to do what we need to do in the back end, which is play some multiple coverages. We're not a one coverage team, and I don't plan to be, but you got to find guys that fit with that. So we're just trying to get some longer, bigger guys. I think he fits that, and then you always have to have the ability to play some man.
All right, thanks, Tom.
Appreciate it. Have an awesome day. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. LEO.